Valentine's with the Mountain Man. Wildwood Ridge series. Written by Kelsie Calloway.
Chapter number 1. Liam. The road curls into Wildwood Ridge like a loving embrace, and I'm hit with the kind of view that makes you believe in something greater. Snow-capped peaks rise over the small town, their jagged tips cutting through the sky's soft blue canvas. My pulse quickens. This is why I do what I do. The lens cap off my camera feels like shedding a layer of skin. This is where I am most myself. Nature's lens is gonna love this, I mutter to myself, already framing shots in my mind's eye. There's an untamed dance of light and shadow playing across the mountainside, a chaos of beauty waiting to be tamed by my camera. Stepping out of my car at Cedar Lodge, the air is sharp with the scent of pines and winter, clean and bracing. It's as if the mountain breeze sweeps through me, taking with it the clutter of city life, leaving only the artist, ready to capture the wild spirit of this place. Look at that sunlight, I say to no one in particular, watching how the sun flirts with the wooden beams of the lodge. I heave my bag over my shoulder, feeling its familiar weight. I've always believed that fate has a funny way of throwing you exactly where you need to be. This job, this town, this is exactly where I need to be right now. Let's see what adventures you've got in store for me, Wildwood Ridge, I whisper with a grin, pushing the doors open. The pine-scented lobby wraps around me like a warm scarf as I step inside Cedar Lodge, the aroma mingling with the sweet tang of apple cider that simmers somewhere out of sight. The rustic charm of this place is tangible. Welcome to Cedar Lodge, a woman with the name tag Iris greets me at the front desk. Her voice a soft chime in the spacious hall. Thank you, I reply, inhaling deeply, allowing the homely scents to ground me after the long drive. I'm Liam Thompson. I have a reservation for the next 3 days. Ah, Mr. Thompson, she says, tapping away at the keyboard. Nature's lens, right? We're so excited to have you with us. Her fingers dance across the keys before abruptly stopping. Oh my, she chuckles uneasily, there seems to have been a mistake. A clench of worry tightens my stomach, though I try to keep my tone light. A mistake? Yes, Iris stammers, biting her lip as she double-checks the documents. It appears your room has been double-booked. Double-booked? The word hangs between us like an unwelcome guest. My mind races, thoughts of trudging back into the cold evening to find another place to stay creeping in like frost. Unfortunately, yes, she confirms, her apologetic gaze meeting mine. We're fully booked this weekend because of the Valentine's Day festival. It's a mix-up with the online system, I suppose. These machines, she sighs, tapping the computer with a forced smile, they're supposed to make life easier. Is there anything we can do? I ask, the weight of my camera bag suddenly more pronounced on my shoulder. I'm not sure where else I could go on such short notice. Let me think. Iris ponders, her brows knitting together. She looks up, eyes widening with revelation. Actually, there is one option. It's not ideal, and we would have to have approval from the other guest booked with you. You could share the room, it's one of our best suites, actually, with the guest. Share. I echo, the concept alien yet somehow not entirely unappealing given the alternative of a night without shelter. Yes, it's quite spacious, and it has a very nice couch if you didn't want to, share the bed, she adds quickly, as if to cushion the blow. My heart skips at the prospect of an unexpected roommate. Fate always did enjoy playing games with me, tossing me into the unknown with a mischievous grin. Okay, I relent, curiosity edging over my hesitation. I'll take it. Marvelous. Iris exclaims, relief blooming on her face. I'm sure Ms. Anderson will agree as well. She's a teacher here on the mountain, but she's coming down for the festival. Everyone loves her and she's very easy to get along with. I should have asked more questions before agreeing to share the room. Is Ms. Anderson 60 years old? Is she the kind of person who wants to go to bed at 8 p.m.? I might have made a mistake, but it's too late now. I'll show you to your room, and you can settle in. Ms. Anderson should be here soon. Thank you, Iris, I say as she hands me a key with a brass number dangling from it. This trip is already turning out to be more interesting than I thought it would. Wildwood Ridge has a way of making things memorable, she replies with a knowing smile.
Chapter number 2. Mia. The road unfurls beneath me, guiding me downwards with each leisurely twist and turn. I feel each muscle in my body uncoil in tandem with the road's descent, a physical echo of the mental release I am experiencing. I've left behind a classroom dotted with colorful posters and desks heavy with the promise of growth, a room that has been my world for what feels like an eternity. Finally, I whisper to myself, exhaling deeply as the last curve brings Cedar Lodge into view. It stands nestled among the snow-dusted pines. With my heart fluttering a mix of exhaustion and sweet anticipation, I step out of my car, feeling the weight of lesson plans and graded papers lift off my shoulders. Valentine's Day, a holiday typically reserved for lovers, this year, it's just for me, a testament to self-love and the solace of solitude. The lobby of Cedar Lodge greets me with its rustic charm, the golden glow of the fireplace casts dancing shadows across the wooden panels. I barely have time to absorb the cozy atmosphere when Iris Mitchell approaches me. "Welcome, Mia," she exclaims. Her smile is the first genuine connection I've felt all day. "Thanks, Iris. This place is just what I needed this weekend," I reply, returning her smile with one of my own. "There's been a little hiccup with your reservation." Her tone is light, but it hooks my stomach with unease. "Technology," she chuckles lightly, as if sharing a private joke with the universe. "It has a mind of its own sometimes. But don't you worry, I already found a resolution." "Follow me," Iris says, beckoning with a gracious hand. My feet move, but my mind still races with possibilities, none of them particularly reassuring. As we walk, I let the warmth from the hearth seep into my bones, allowing Iris' unwavering confidence to ease the tightness gathering in my chest. She's been the heart of this lodge for as long as anyone can remember. "Everything happens for a reason, Mia," Iris muses. "Sometimes, the universe conspires to give us exactly what we need." I don't know about that, considering I'm not even sure what the issue with my reservation is, but I follow her nonetheless. A hallway stretches before us, its walls a tapestry of moments frozen in time. Pictures of faraway places and smiling strangers whisper tales of adventure and serendipity. Iris pauses at a door that looks just like any other, but when she pushes it open, I'm met with a space that breathes the promise of tranquility. "This is your room," she declares, her hand sweeping towards the bed that dominates the chamber, a king-size promise of rest. "Thank you, Iris." My voice is a mix of gratitude and weariness as I step in. But then, my gaze lands on him. "And this is Liam," Iris continues. "Liam, this is Mia. It looks as if the two of you double-booked the same room. He's agreed to share the room, since we have no others available. You know how busy the mountain gets during the Valentine's Day festival," she shrugs. Her words hang in the air, a delicate balance between proposition and predicament. "Hi," Liam greets me with a smile. My mind races, trying to make sense of what I've walked into. "Hello, Liam." Politeness weaves through my trepidation. Iris, sensing my discomfort, chimes in with maternal reassurance. "The couch is very cozy if either of you would prefer not to share a bed." "Of course," I murmur, clinging to the practicality of her suggestion like a lifeline. She retreats with a wave, letting us know we can call down to the front desk if we need any service. The room feels suddenly smaller, the presence of this stranger-turned-roommate filling the space with a new kind of energy. I can't help but feel the irony. I came here for solitude, and fate hands me company. I don't mind taking the couch," Liam ventures, his voice a gentle rumble, like distant thunder rolling over the valley. "Really, It's fine. Are you sure? My question is genuine, tinged with an awareness of the silent rules of courtesy. Absolutely. He nods. Nature doesn't usually spoil me with king-sized beds anyway. A smile tugs at the corner of my mouth. You're used to roughing it then? Something like that. His grin is infectious, and I find myself responding in kind despite the oddity of our situation. But something inside of me says to offer to share the bed. You know, we could probably sleep together. My cheeks flush bright red when I realize what I've said. I mean, in the bed. It's big enough that we'd probably be fine. Liam chuckles before opening his bag to unpack. If that's all right with you, that's all right with me. I don't know why I offered to share a bed with a stranger, but he has a handsome face and kind eyes. Nothing bad can come of this, right?
Chapter number 3. Liam. The room is awash with the fading light of dusk, shadows stretching across the wooden floor as Mia and I unpack in silence. The delicate sound of fabric brushing against wood accompanies each movement. I fold my shirts, a palette of earth tones, and slide them into the drawer next to my side of the bed. My gaze drifts toward Mia. Her movements are methodical, every item placed just so. So, what do you do? I ask, already aware but craving the sound of her voice. Or any voice, really. She turns, a strand of chestnut hair falling over her shoulder. I'm a teacher, Mia replies, the corner of her mouth lifting in a smile that reaches her expressive green eyes. It's challenging, but rewarding. As Mia speaks about her job as a teacher, I can see the passion in her eyes and the way her hands move with enthusiasm. She tells me about the challenges she faces in the classroom, but also about the little victories that make it all worth it. I have this one student, she says with a smile, who is always so quiet and reserved. But every time he participates in class or completes an assignment, I can see how proud he is of himself. It's those moments that make me love my job. I listen intently as she shares more stories of her students and their progress. Her words paint a picture of determination, dedication, and compassion for her work. But it's not always easy, Mia admits with a sigh. There are days when it feels like I'm not making any difference at all. And then there are days when I feel like I'm failing my students. I offer my support and understanding. But you keep going, I say softly. Yes, because even though it may be challenging, it's also incredibly rewarding to know that I have made a positive impact on someone's life. Her words resonate with me deeply. As an artist, I often face similar struggles with doubt and uncertainty about my work. But hearing Mia speak about her passion for teaching gives me a newfound appreciation for what I do. Working with kids sounds exhausting, I say, leaning back against the bedpost. It can be, she admits with a soft laugh. And you? Her curiosity feels like an ember sparking to life in the cooling air. What do you do? Strolling over to the couch, I feel the pull of the hearth. The fireplace, grand and inviting, calls for a fire, and my fingers work deftly to oblige. Striking the match, the flame takes hold, licking at the logs with an eager hunger. I catch Mia watching. When she sees me, she wanders over to sit down. Nature and wildlife photography, I begin, the crackle of the fire punctuating my words. It's about patience, waiting for that perfect shot where nature reveals its raw beauty. Mia's eyes widen in amazement as I tell her about my travels to the heartland of Africa. The early morning sun painting the savannah in a golden light, while the animals went about their daily routines. The best part was being able to observe these creatures in their natural habitat, I say, reliving the memory. To witness their raw beauty and power. Mia leans closer, seemingly captivated by my words. Tell me more, she urges. I tell her about the lions, how regal and undisturbed they were by my presence. How when they roared, it reverberated through the air, sending shivers down my spine. And then there were the elephants, I continue, a smile spreading across my face at the thought of these gentle giants. They moved with such grace and wisdom, it was like they held secrets of the world within them. Listening intently, Mia seems entranced by my stories. I tell her about how I would spend hours waiting for just the right moment to capture an image. How sometimes it would take days to get that perfect shot. It takes patience and persistence, I say, knowing that these are qualities that are essential not only for photography but also for life in general. Mia listens, her knees pulled up to her chest as the warmth seeps into our bones. There's a simplicity in the way we share stories, the ebb and flow of conversation wrapping around us like a blanket. It's odd, this feeling of intimacy with someone who, merely hours ago, was a stranger. I find myself captivated by the unexpected synergy between us. Our dialogue, a volley of experiences and dreams, draws out a sense of wonder at the unpredictable turns life can take. Here we are, two souls brought together by a twist of fate in a small town, finding beauty amid the chaos of an accidental roommate situation. Must be quite the adventure, Mia murmurs, her gaze following the pirouettes of the flames. Every day is different, I confess, the heat of the fire mirroring the warmth growing inside me. But sometimes, the best moments are the quiet ones, like this. I stretch my legs out in front of me, feeling the warmth from the fire. Our conversation drifts from work to other topics. Time slows down and I forget that I was going to hike around the mountain to get a feel for my next few days. Minutes turn to hours and I find myself laughing, talking to this woman about things I've never shared with anyone else. Your turn, Mia prompts, nudging my shoulder playfully. Any escapades from your youth you'd like to share? I think for a moment, sifting through years of memories. There was this one time, I begin, recounting a treacherous climb up a snowy peak with friends. Mia listens, her attention never waning, and I realize that with every word, every shared secret and silent understanding, the space between us grows smaller. Sounds exhilarating, she murmurs, admiration lacing her tone. Terrifying and thrilling, all at once, I admit, meeting her gaze. Our conversation shifts naturally, ebbing and flowing from childhood dreams to what the future might hold. As Mia speaks of her aspirations to touch more lives through teaching, to inspire and be inspired, her passion ignites a similar flame within me. I want to capture these moments, frame her ambition and hope against the backdrop of the snow-capped mountains outside. Would you ever leave teaching? I find myself asking, curious about the depth of her commitment. Only for something that mattered just as much, she replies, a hint of resolve in her eyes. Life has a funny way of surprising you, I say, the statement hanging in the air, laden with meaning. It certainly does, Mia agrees, her smile as serene as the snowfall outside. The fire pops, a spark flying up unexpectedly, and I feel the weight of something momentous resting on my shoulders. I was supposed to spend this Valentine's alone, surrounded by the beauty of nature. And instead, I find myself with a stranger, who is just as beautiful and awe-inspiring as the mountains I'd planned to photograph.
Chapter number 4. Mia. The first golden fingers of sunlight slip through the curtains. I stir, the cocoon of sleep unraveling from around me as I blink away the remnants of dreams. Liam is already awake, perched in the rumpled sheets, his fingers a flurry over the laptop keyboard. Morning. His voice is soft, apologetic almost, and he glances my way with those deep-set eyes that seem like they're seeing right into me. Did I wake you? I shake my head, still half-draped in warmth and drowsiness. No, the sun took care of that. It's such a domestic moment that I let myself bask in the sheer normalcy of it. Good. He smiles, but there's a flicker of something, hesitation, before he closes his laptop with a decisive snap. Hey, do you want to join me on a walk this morning? I'm chasing the sunrise. Chasing the sunrise? The poetic phrase catches me off guard, igniting a flutter in my chest. Yeah, he says, standing up now, stretching in a way that makes the muscles in his arms stand out. I have this photography assignment for the magazine, and I need the first light hitting the trees. Sounds perfect. I'm out of bed before I fully register the decision, drawn by the promise of beauty through his lens, and the quiet excitement of being beside him as the world awakens. The chill of the morning nips at my cheeks, but the warmth of Liam's enthusiasm is a balm against the cold. As we tread the path, conversation flows as naturally as the river beside us. I learn that Liam's laughter comes easily, especially when I recount the time I tried to turn my classroom into a makeshift rainforest, only to be met with an escaped iguana and a room full of shrieking third graders. Adventure seems to follow you, he teases, and there's a glint of admiration in his eyes that makes my heart flutter like leaves in the wind. I return the sentiment, asking about the wildest places his camera has taken him. With each tale of remote landscapes and close encounters with wildlife, I'm drawn deeper into the allure of his world, a tapestry woven from threads of untamed beauty and the thrill of preservation. Look there, Liam suddenly pauses, pointing towards a clearing in the distance where mist rises around a waterfall cascading into an azure pool. The sight steals my breath. I've never seen water catch the light quite like that, as if it's shimmering with its own inner fire. Want to give it a shot? Liam offers me his camera with a smile that's both an invitation and a challenge. I hesitate, the weight of the professional equipment unfamiliar in my hands. What if I drop it? Take a bad photo? He chuckles softly. I trust you, Mia. Besides, every shot tells a story, whatever the outcome. With my finger poised on the shutter button, I peer through the viewfinder, framing the scene. My pulse quickens as I adjust the focus, the waterfall sharpening into clarity. I press down, and the camera clicks, capturing the dance of water and light. It's exhilarating, this creation of stillness from chaos, and I find myself laughing, eager for more. See? You're a natural, Liam says, his voice a low hum of approval that resonates somewhere deep within me. Emboldened by his faith in me, I suggest we delve further into the woods. The trees stand as silent sentinels to our passage, their branches heavy with snow, transforming the forest into a hushed, white cathedral. Our footfalls are the only sound, punctuating the soft whisper of the winter breeze. There, nestled among the sentinel pines, lies a cabin. Its wood is aged to silver, and it crouches beneath the weight of years. Curiosity draws us closer. Each step reveals more of the structure, the sagging roof, the windows opaque with grime, the door ajar as if inviting secrets to spill forth. Looks like it's been here forever, I murmur, my breath forming clouds that drift lazily upwards. Time capsules have a way of hiding in plain sight, Liam replies, his hand brushing against mine as we step over the threshold together. Inside, the air is thick with stories long since faded to whispers. We move through the space, careful not to disturb the dust motes dancing in the slanting beams of sunlight. The remnants of the cabin's former life lay scattered about, a chair, a frayed rug, and against all odds, a pile of yellowed paper with words etched into its lines. Imagine what was dreamt up here, I say, the thought sending a shiver of excitement through me that has nothing to do with the cold. Perhaps it's not too late to find out, Liam suggests, his gaze holding mine. In this moment, surrounded by the echoes of past inspirations, I feel the stirrings of my own creativity, intertwined with the gentle pull of something new and entirely unexpected blossoming between Liam and I. Look at these, Liam breathes out, his voice a low hum that vibrates through the stillness. He steps beside me, close enough that I feel the warmth radiating from him. His finger gently nudges my arm, directing my gaze to a painting where light seems to dance amongst the trees. Someone loved this place, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. More than love, I think. He's contemplative. It was a refuge, a sanctuary to create, to be alone with nature. Is that what you search for? In your photography? I ask, turning to catch his expression. Sometimes. His eyes meet mine, and I see a flicker of kinship. But today, it's about sharing it with you. As we explore each corner, I trace the outlines of furniture with my fingertips, feeling the grooves and textures of another life. There's beauty here, even in the decay. Imagine the stories this place could tell, I muse aloud, half to myself. Maybe it's waiting for someone to listen, Liam replies, his hand hovering just above the small of my back, not quite touching, but sending ripples of awareness down my spine. Or maybe for someone to add their own story, I suggest, my heart racing at the thought. Could be. He smiles, and there's a knowing look in his eyes that tells me he understands me on a deeper level. We leave the cabin as the sun begins to rise high in the sky. The forest feels different now, more intimate, as if we've become part of its narrative. Liam leads the way, his strides confident as we head back to the inn. Thank you for letting me come out here with you today, I say, the words tumbling out, weighted with gratitude. I never expected. Neither did I, he cuts in, his tone warm. Sometimes, the best moments are the ones you don't see coming. Liam turns, his smile the brightest thing in the encroaching dusk. I had such an amazing time with you, he admits, his hand reaching for mine, a perfect fit. Me too, I reply, my voice steady despite the fluttering in my chest. Our fingers intertwine naturally, as if they've found a missing piece.
Chapter number 5. Liam. The first rays of the sun spill over the mountain peaks, painting the world in hues of amber and gold as a new morning dawns. Mia is by my side once more as we venture out of Cedar Lodge. Iris, with her unfailing intuition, saw us coming down for breakfast and said that we might enjoy the Valentine's Day festival. We lounged around the lodge for a couple of hours before deciding that she was right. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day, Mia observes, pulling her scarf a little tighter around her neck. Perfect for a festival, I agree, as we set off on the path leading away from the inn. The trail is a kaleidoscope of color, vibrant flowers strung through the trees by the townspeople. Laughter floats on the breeze, coming from the town square. In this moment, reality seems to blur, and I'm a character in some fanciful tale, walking beside a woman who could very well be a modern-day princess. Maybe even mine. As we reach the town square, it's as if we've stumbled upon a hidden gem. Banners in every shade of red and pink dance in the wind, while twinkling lights wrap around the wooden structures like vines of stars. A local band plays a tune that tugs at the heartstrings, infusing the air with a melody of longing and love. Isn't this neat? Mia grins. It's more than I expected, I concede, my gaze following her as she moves with childlike excitement. She stops at a vendor booth to try cotton candy, her laughter mingling with the sounds of the festival, a sound that's quickly becoming my favorite. The scent of chocolate weaves through the crisp air, pulling us away from the cotton candy and toward a rustic stall draped in red velvet. Mia's face blooms with delight as her gaze lands on the glossy strawberries, each one cloaked in a rich, dark shell. Oh my gosh, I love chocolate-covered strawberries. Her exclamation dances between us. Then let's get some, I say, already reaching for my wallet. The vendor hands us a box, and Mia's fingers brush against mine as she takes it, sending an unexpected jolt up my arm. We meander through the throngs of people, sharing the decadent treat. The chocolate cracks and gives way to the sweet tang beneath, a symphony of flavors that mirrors the growing complexity of my feelings for her. Just a couple of days ago, she was a stranger. Now she's someone I enjoy spending time with. What a difference a day makes. Hey, look, one of those old-fashioned photo booths, I point out, noting the array of colorful props and hats strewn across a table nearby. How about we take some pictures? I can't help the mischievous glint that sneaks into my gaze, a playful side of me that Mia seems to effortlessly draw out. I want to capture this moment and live in it forever. Absolutely, she replies, laughter spilling from her lips like music. We duck inside the booth, donning oversized glasses and silly hats, our laughter mingling with the mechanical whirl of the camera. Snap after snap, we freeze moments of unguarded hilarity, of a connection blossoming in spontaneity. Your turn to wear the feather boa, Mia teases, her eyes sparkling with mischief as she drapes the flamboyant accessory around my neck. I pose with exaggerated flair, earning a round of giggles from her. In these snapshots, I find a kindred spirit, someone whose laughter is as open and free as the mountain streams I so love to photograph. We emerge from the booth, cheeks flushed with mirth. The sound of carnival games beckons, and I'm taken back to my youth. Shall we? I challenge, gesturing toward the nearest game with a grin. Bring it on, Mr. Photographer. Mia's competitive gleam is irresistible, her eagerness pulling me into the fray. A basketball shootout stands before us, and we fall into the rhythm of the game, our shots arcing through the air, one after the other. Each swish of the net is a victory, each miss a chance to rib the other. Mia's final shot sinks just as the buzzer sounds, her win by a single point eliciting a triumphant cheer from her and a feigned pout from me. Nice shooting, I concede, admiration lacing my tone. But this battle isn't over yet. We move on to the ring toss, where Mia proves her aim is true, landing all 5 rings with grace. I watch, impressed. All right, your turn to shine, she says, nudging me toward the balloon darts with a smile that warms me more than the afternoon sun. It's a close call, but victory is mine this time. The pop of balloons marks my triumph, and Mia's cheer is genuine, her high five sending another spark racing along my skin. Seems we're evenly matched, she observes, a shared understanding passing between us. Seems so, I agree, feeling a camaraderie that goes beyond the games, beyond today. As we weave through the other contests, laughter bubbling up at every turn, it's clear that winning or losing is inconsequential. Our friendly rivalry has morphed into mutual encouragement, into a partnership that feels as natural as it is unexpected. In the heart of Wildwood Ridge, amidst the backdrop of winter, I am discovering that sometimes the most profound connections are birthed from the simplest of interactions. And as I steal glances at Mia, her face alight with the purest of smiles, I know that this twist of fate, this accidental double-booked room, may just be the beginning of something extraordinary. Try this, Mia says after visiting one of the booths. She breaks off a piece of sugar-dusted funnel cake and hands it to me. It's like a cloud made of sugar. As her fingers brush mine, I feel it again, that electric jolt of something and nothing all at once. I take the piece, and the fluffy dough melts on my tongue, sweet and warm. That's amazing, I admit, watching her face light up with pleasure at my approval. We lean against the wooden railing of a food stand, the warmth of hot cider in our hands warding off the chill of the February air. Mia's eyes reflect the twinkle of the festival lights as she turns toward me, an impish smile playing on her lips. Let me tell you about my most memorable Valentine's Day, she starts, sipping her cider. I was 10, and my dad surprised me with a horse-drawn carriage ride. Her voice is tinged with nostalgia, her green eyes distant as if she's traveling back through time. We rode through our town, sipping hot cocoa and munching on heart-shaped cookies. I felt like a princess, and that day, he was my Prince Charming. There's a serenity in her recollection, a pure joy that radiates from her. It's easy to picture a younger Mia, wide-eyed and full of wonder, her laughter echoing down quaint town streets. Your dad sounds like a great guy, I say, genuinely moved by the sweetness of her memory. He is, she replies, her gaze meeting mine. What about you? Any Valentine's Day that stands out? Last year, I start, chuckling at the absurdity of what I'm about to share. I had this whole fancy dinner planned at a high-end restaurant. But halfway through, my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend now, got food poisoning. I shake my head, remembering the night that was supposed to be romantic but ended in disaster. Mia laughs, her hand coming up to cover her mouth. Oh no, that's terrible. But also kind of funny, in a twisted way. Definitely not the evening I had envisioned, I confess. Spent the night holding her hair back instead of holding her hand. But hey, At least I proved I'm a gentleman, I tell her with a wink. Indeed you did, she teases, her laughter tapering off into a soft smile. As we continue to chat, sharing tales laced with both humor and heartache, I can't help but notice how effortlessly our stories weave together, a tapestry of past experiences that somehow seem less daunting when shared. There's a comfort in our exchange, the familiarity of two souls recognizing the beauty in life's chaos. There's something special about finding the right person to make new memories with, Mia muses. Someone who understands your quirks, your dreams. Someone who makes you laugh, even when things don't go as planned, I add, our voices harmonizing in hope and longing. Exactly, she agrees, her eyes meeting mine once more. In the heart of this small mountain town, amidst the celebration of love, with Mia by my side, I find myself hoping, perhaps fatefully, that we might just be talking about each other. And as our conversation drifts from laughter to deeper confessions, there's a sense that we're already intertwining new threads into our shared story, ones that speak of passions waiting to be explored. Who knows, I say, my voice barely above a whisper, maybe this Valentine's Day will be the one we both remember for years to come. Maybe, she whispers back.
Chapter number 6. Mia. The Valentine's Day festival has been a dreamy affair, with couples holding hands and enjoying the festivities under the warm sun. But suddenly, dark clouds begin to gather on the horizon, casting an ominous shadow over the town square. The once tranquil sky turns tumultuous as it broods with shades of deep purple and gray. I glance at Liam, his eyes reflecting the same surprise that must be painted all over my face. Looks like we're about to get drenched, he says with a calm that belies the chaos around us. Let's make a run for it back to the inn. We dart through the crowd, our hands clasping and unclasping as we dodge umbrellas and couples less fortunate than us. Laughter bubbles up from my throat, mingling with the collective gasps and shrieks as the skies open up and release a torrential downpour of rain. Come on, Mia! Liam yells over the roar of the storm, his hand catching mine again, strong and sure this time. I nod, breathless not just from the sprint but from the touch of his fingers against mine. We splash through puddles that mirror the darkening sky, our steps sinking in an unexpected dance. Almost there, he promises, pointing ahead to the welcoming lights of Cedar Lodge. By the time we stumble into the shelter of the inn, dripping and panting, I can't help but surrender to laughter once more. It's infectious, and soon Liam joins in, his deep chuckles resonating in the space between us. We stand there, two soaked souls finding beauty in this unplanned chaos. Iris looks up from the desk, her nose crinkling when she sees us getting the floor damp. Perhaps you two should go to your room, she suggests. It isn't very funny, but we burst into a fit of giggles anyway and make our way upstairs. Here, let me help you with that, Liam offers when the door closes behind us, gingerly peeling the clinging fabric of my shirt away from my skin. His fingers are tentative, respectful, yet they send shivers down my spine that have nothing to do with the cold. Thanks, I mutter, feeling the heat rise to my cheeks despite the chill in my bones. I reciprocate the gesture, fumbling with the hem of his sodden t-shirt, trying to focus on the task and not the way my heart races. As we discard our wet clothes in silence, the heater hums in the background, its warmth a feeble protest against the cold emanating from our bodies. I can't stop the tremors that quake through my limbs, nor the thoughts that race about how intimate this all feels. Better? Liam asks after we've both changed into robes, his voice low and laced with a concern that makes my chest tighten. Much, I reply, though the truth is, I'm still shivering, perhaps now more from the proximity of him than from the remnant chill of the rain. His robe hangs loosely around his frame, and I catch glimpses of the man beneath, this ruggedly handsome photographer with an explorer's heart who has unexpectedly become my shelter in the small mountain town. Good thing we're indoors now, he says, a smile playing on his lips. I think we've had enough adventure for today. Indeed, I agree, my breath catching as our eyes meet. In that simple exchange, something shifts, a connection deepening beyond the shared experience of the storm. We're accidental roommates, thrown together by fate, yet now, it feels like anything but an accident. There's comfort in his presence, a sense of rightness that defies explanation. It would have been a very different Valentine's Day without you, I admit, the words spilling out before I can stop them. Same here, Mia, he responds earnestly. Same here. Outside, the rain continues to fall, a steady drumming against the windowpane. But inside, there's a warmth that goes beyond the crackle of the heater, a feeling of being exactly where I'm meant to be. With Liam. On this day made for love, in a scene framed by fate. Let me get a fire going, he offers, breaking the spell of the moment. Liam walks over and crouches by the hearth, his movements sure and practiced as he breathes life into the flames. I stand for a moment, watching the play of firelight over his features. It's an intimate tableau, this rugged man and the primal element he's coaxing to life. I turn away, my feet carrying me toward the kitchenette where a bottle of wine awaits. I remind myself to thank Iris for the wine. I don't know how she knew we'd need it, but I appreciate her providing it. Uncorking the bottle with a satisfying pop, the rich aroma fills the air, a promise of warmth from within. I pour 2 generous glasses, the ruby liquid swirling and catching the light. Here, I say, my voice softer than I intend as I cross the room and hand him a glass. Our fingers brush, lingering just a second longer than necessary. His eyes meet mine, and there's an unspoken conversation happening in those depths, recognition, understanding, the beginnings of desire. Thanks, he replies, his voice low. We settle onto the plush rug, knees touching, a mirror of closeness that feels both accidental and deliberate. The fire roars in front of us, a living thing that devours the logs and breathes out comfort. Outside, the rain plays its own symphony, each drop a note on the vast score of the evening sky. Thunder growls, a warning, a lullaby, a reminder of nature's power. This has been the most magical Valentine's Day I've ever had, I confess, turning to face him. My words hang in the air, vulnerable, but true. He grins back at me, the corners of his eyes crinkling. I feel the same way. The charming little shops and welcoming locals have made it unforgettable. How easy it is to talk to him, to share these moments that feel like they're being woven into something larger, a tapestry of shared memories that we're creating thread by thread. I take another sip, the wine grounding me and giving me the courage to exist in this moment that feels so much bigger than the sum of its parts. The warmth from the fire seeps into my bones, chasing away the remnants of the day's chaos, leaving only serenity in its wake. We speak of small things, of favorite photographs he's taken, of the stories behind the children's laughter in my classroom. And with each word, the awkwardness that once clung to our edges dissipates, leaving in its place a connection that feels as old as time yet as fresh as the newly fallen snow outside. I watch the flames dance, their light reflecting in his eyes, and wonder at the strange paths fate leads us down. Here, in this mountain town, amid the winter's chill and the unexpected beauty of a storm, I found something more profound than the solitude I previously sought. A connection, passionate and serene, with a man who was once just a stranger. How heartwarming it is to realize that sometimes, amidst the chaos, you can find a harmony you never knew you were searching for. Tomorrow seems too soon to leave, he murmurs, setting his glass down with a soft clink against the wooden floor. I nod, feeling the pull of his gaze like gravity. I don't dare speak, because I'm afraid I'll say something I'll regret. Or worse, burst into tears. Thanks to you, Liam says softly, and I see the corners of his mouth turn up in a smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes. It's a smile tinged with the same reluctance that's been growing inside of me, a reluctance to break whatever spell has been cast over us here on the mountain. Me? My laugh is a half-hearted flutter. I try to dismiss the gravity of his words with another sip of wine, the rich flavor bittersweet on my tongue. I came here for the beauty in the landscape, but you made this place shine, Mia. He leans closer, his arm brushing against mine, sending ripples of warmth through my body. I catch my breath as the space between us crackles, charged with an electric current born of shared glances and half-whispered conversations. It's foolish to think it's the wine drawing me nearer when every fiber of my being leans toward him, like one magnet attracted to another. Maybe it's just the storm outside that makes everything feel more intense, I venture, even though I know it's more than weather stirring this tempest within me. Perhaps, he concedes, his voice a low thrum that resonates with my own racing heart. Or maybe it's the storm we've stirred in each other. Our eyes lock, and in his gaze, I find the echo of my own longing. His mouth is now so close to mine that I can taste the faint sweetness of the wine we shared. Liam. I breathe out his name like a prayer, my heart hammering in my chest. Without another word, we gravitate towards each other, as if pulled by invisible strings. A soft chuckle leaves him before he closes the gap between us, claiming my lips with his. Our lips meet, a kiss ignited by all the unspoken words, the lingering looks, the laughter shared in the face of chaos. His hand cradles my cheek, and I lean into the touch, a bold move that seems to inspire him. The kiss starts slow and tender, a gentle dance of lips and tongues tasting, exploring, learning each other's flavors. His tongue teases my lower lip before delving deeper, demanding more intimacy. Our bodies naturally sync in rhythm, each movement amplifying our growing desires. Liam's mouth moves against mine with increasing fervor, matching the rhythm of my escalating heartbeat. His wandering hand finds my thigh, inching higher, reaching under the hem of my robe to gently knead at the bare skin beneath, his fingers leaving scorching trails wherever they touch. As the kiss deepens, I am lost in the sensation, the taste of him mingling with the remnants of wine. There's no before, no after, just the now, where the beauty of Wildwood Ridge fades into the background, and all that matters is raw passion. We should probably. I trail off breathlessly, breaking the kiss and pulling away. Stay, he whispers, a single word laden with desire and vulnerability. I give in to my cravings, desperate for him. Okay, I respond. Outside, the storm rages on, but inside, we have found a safe harbor in each other's arms. And as I surrender to the fervor of his embrace, I know that this unexpected encounter, born of chaos and chance, has forever altered the course of my heart. Chapter number 7. Mia. The first light of dawn kisses the world outside Cedar Lodge, and I can't help but marvel at how it paints everything in hues of hope. The dining room is awash with a golden glow that filters through the large windows, each pane framing the burgeoning day like a masterpiece. Liam sits across from me, his rugged features softened by the morning sun. There's an awkward silence between us, a palpable tension that neither of us dares to break. Wow, look at this place, he says, his voice a warm rumble that fills the space around us. He gestures at the room adorned in crimson and blush, heart-shaped decorations ubiquitous as if Cupid himself had been here, preparing for Valentine's Day. It's beautiful. I nod, my heart swelling at his appreciation of the beauty surrounding us. This is the best Valentine's Day I've ever had, I confess, letting my gaze linger on the charming decor. Last night was magical, wasn't it? His eyes meet mine, filled with a warmth that echoes the fire we sat by only hours ago. The scent of pine still clings to the air around us, mingling with the rich aroma of fresh coffee and pancakes, a reminder of our time in Wildwood Ridge. It was, I reply, cheeks flushing with the memory. My smile is shy, yet genuine as I return his adoring look. I never expected this. The words tumble out, hinting at the unexpected connection we found amidst the chaos of life. His hand reaches for mine, his touch tentative, yet reassuring. Mia, you finding this cabin, us ending up as roommates, it was fate. I laugh softly, the sound mingling with the clatter of cutlery as we continue to eat. Who would have thought, right? A teacher and a photographer crossing paths in a mountain retreat. I take another bite, but it's hard to swallow past the lump forming in my throat. "Hey," Liam says, sensing my shift in mood. "What's wrong?" "Nothing," I lie, forcing brightness into my voice that doesn't quite reach my eyes. But he sees right through it, always so perceptive. "It's just, our worlds are so different. I'm rooted here, and you're like a leaf in the wind." His thumb brushes against the back of my hand, a gesture that steadies the whirlwind in my chest. Sometimes, leaves find a place where they want to stay. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. The idea of him leaving tugs at something deep within me, a sense of loss for something I've only just found. My teaching job tethered me to this small town, while his camera lens beckoned him to the vast wilderness of the world. Yet, as I sit here with him, the reality of our conflicting lives weighing on me. Liam's voice breaks the silence. "I want to tell you something," he says, his gaze earnest as it meets mine across the table strewn with remnants of our breakfast. "I know we come from different worlds, you're a teacher here on the mountain, and I'm a traveling photographer. But that doesn't mean our connection is any less real." His words send a warmth through me, battling the practical thoughts crowding my mind. But how would it work? We live such different lives. The words tumble out, voicing the fear that's been gnawing at me since the moment I realized I didn't want this to end. "That's where you're wrong," he interjects, leaning forward, his eyes alight with conviction. "I've been traveling for years, and I've never truly had a place to call home. But ever since arriving on Wildwood Ridge and meeting you, I've felt more at home than I ever have." My heart skips a beat, hope fluttering inside me. Could it be possible that we were meant to find each other on this mountain? That despite our differences, we could make it work? "I don't want to lose you," he continues, his voice rich with emotion. My heart races, tears threatening to spill over as I listen to him. In this moment, I feel something special for this man, a connection that defies the short time we've known each other. With shaky hands, I reach out and take his hand, feeling the roughness of his skin against mine. I give it a gentle squeeze, a small smile tugging at my lips as I meet his gaze. "I don't want to lose you either," I admit softly, my voice barely above a whisper, filled with vulnerability. We sit there, hands entwined, the world outside continuing to come alive. And in this hushed dining room, surrounded by Valentine's decor, it feels like fate has drawn us together. "Thank you," he says, his voice a warm melody against the quietness of the room. "For hearing me out." His words pull at something deep within me, unraveling the tangle of my thoughts with surprising ease. "How could I not?" I whisper back, feeling a magnetic pull between us. And then, his lips are on mine, a feather-light touch that sets off a cascade of shivers racing down my spine. The kiss is a question, an answer, a promise all in one, igniting a spark that threatens to consume us both. As we pull back, there's a warmth that wraps around us, a comfort settling into the spaces between us as if it's always belonged there. "Could I stay with you just a few more days?" His eyes search mine, earnest and hopeful. They're the color of the wildwood, deep and infinite, and I feel myself getting lost in them all over again. "Yes," I breathe out, so full of excitement I can barely contain it. My heart feels like it could burst from my chest, eager and willing to leap into this unknown future with him. "Yes, please stay." In this moment, I realize the mountain isn't just my sanctuary, it's our unexpected harbor in the tempest of life. And Liam, with his wandering spirit, has anchored himself to my shore with a gentleness I hadn't known I was seeking. "More time," he says softly, almost to himself, but I catch the words as they hang in the cool air. "For my project and to be with you." I nod, unable to articulate the joy flooding through me, the sheer rightness of this twist of fate. It's as if the universe conspired to bring us together, two souls seeking solace in the chaos, only to find a serendipitous synergy that neither of us expected. Then it's settled, I say, a smile spreading across my face.
You finished Valentine's with the Mountain Man, Book 3 of the Wildwood Ridge series written by Kelsie Calloway. This story has been edited for audio. For the original version featuring intimate scenes, read this book for free in Kindle Unlimited or purchase it for $2.99.